Hey adventurers, so today this video is going to be on a book unhaul. I recently got just a couple more books from my bookshelf, and while I technically, if I really reorganized it and tried really hard, could make room for them, I'm just running out of room in general in this shelf, which you can't see on camera, but I have two more shelves down below what's visible here. One of them is really small. This is an adjustable shelf, but it turned out my books are just taller than I thought in general. Like I said, I think I could make it work and fit a lot more books in here, but I'm not ready to do that, and I was looking through my shelf and I realized I had a handful of books that I was ready to let go of. So here's my book unhaul. Here's what I'm unhauling from my bookshelf. These are largely books I didn't enjoy or just would really never pick up again. Where should we start? Start with the oldest book that was in my possession that I decided to unhaul. So I have Unstoppable, book 1, Nowhere to Run, of the 39 Clues. So if I'm not mistaken, this is book 1 of the second 39 Clues series. I really enjoyed the first series when I was a kid. I loved them. Each of the books in the series are written by a different author, which is really fun to see those different writing styles and how each author interprets the characters. But by season 2, series number 2, it was time. I didn't love the second series. I don't even think I got through it all. And so I have the first 2 books of the first 39 Clue series, and I have the 11th book as well because my library didn't have that one. So this is what I'm going to be getting rid of, book 1 of the second 39 Clue series. So that's that going away. And then I have Rogue One, a Star Wars story by Alexander Freed. I really loved the Rogue One film, and I wanted to read more about it. So I got this book, and it took me a while to get through it, and I wasn't that impressed. I would almost rather just watch the movie again if I want to know more about the story. The only thing about this is the only thing about this book that stood out, separate from the films, is that it showed a little bit more of K2's process. K2 is the droid. Cassian's droid, I believe. This is one, it was okay. I got through it. There was one really cool section where we got to see K2's perspective in a way that we didn't in the film. But all in all, I didn't love it. Rather just watch the movie. It was originally a film, so I'm gonna stick with that. It's time for this one to go. It was really fun as I was deciding which books I didn't want on my shelf anymore. I ended up finding like 3 or 4 bookmarks of my favorite bookmarks, so that's kind of fun. I have my bookmarks again because a lot of these I DNF'd. Like Rogue One, I DNF'd, and then I picked it back up because I wanted to finish it, and then we'll talk more about these other books. So next I have book 2 through 5 of the Ranger's Apprentice series. I own currently book 1 through 5, and I did enjoy 1. I did not enjoy 2, and 3 was like torture. I DNF'd 3. I only got like 11 chapters in. It's one of those I gathered a bookmark out of when I pulled it out of my shelf. The Ranger's Apprentice series just isn't for me. I thought that maybe if I'd have read them at a little bit of a younger age, I would have enjoyed them more, because they are middle grade, and when I was younger it was easier for me to look over flaws in a story and just love it for what was great about it. But at the same time, this type of genre probably wouldn't have interested me when I was younger. So I don't know if I would. I pulled these out, I'm like, this is taking up space in my shelf. I'm never going to read these again. I did keep book 1 because book 1 was okay. That one's in my shelf back here all by its lonesome. But the other ones aren't really worth my time, and I know that I'll never read 4 or 5, and I'm never going to finish 3. So what's the point in having it? If I do want it, I can get it from the library. So these are being ejected from my collection. I did ask Tony if he wanted these, any of these books actually, before I got rid of them, and he said no, so they had their second chance. So the last 2 we've got here, I have Enemies and Allies by Kevin J. Anderson. I don't think I did a review solely on this book. I know I talked about it, I think either on our Discord server or in a review or wrap-up. In a wrap-up maybe I talked about it. But I was overall just really disappointed in Enemies and Allies. I had really high hopes going into it. I was excited to see a novelization of superheroes. They're well loved, they're well known, and I was expecting to see something really cool from a novelization where you can really dive deeply into a character's thoughts and ideals and everything. And I was just disappointed. I kept waiting for things to happen. I kept being repeatedly disappointed in the story, and it was like torture to pick it up again. I never wanted to pick it up again once I set it down, and that's not how a book should be. So I did get all the way through Enemies and Allies. Didn't love it. It's not going to stay on my shelf for that reason. Next, we have The Last Bookshop in London by Madeline Martin. And I was really disappointed in this. I saw World War II historical fiction centered around a bookshop, and I was like, okay, it'll be a nice little, maybe a little bit fluffy in the sense of just, I don't know how to describe a fluffy read. I am going to assume you guys can understand what I mean when I say that. But it was more than I was expecting. There wasn't a story goal. There was a really fast romance that just popped up out of the middle of nowhere that I didn't really appreciate. The character wasn't relatable, and her reasons for doing things weren't well presented in a way. She just did them and you're like, where did that come from? And then they explained later, and it didn't set well. There wasn't enough explanation, there wasn't enough setup. So I didn't love that. I am kind of disappointed that I didn't finish this book because I was hoping it would redeem itself the further I got through. I think I only made it about a quarter or a third of the way through the story. And then I decided that was it for me, just because there wasn't a story goal, and besides waiting for her man to come back from the army, but he wasn't even her man, so I don't know, just frustrated by it. There's a lot more fantastic historical fictions that I could be reading, so I put this one aside, and I'm gonna be getting rid of that one. So this is the books that I got rid of this month, or this last book reorganization that I'm deciding to unhaul. I will probably donate them to our local thrift store. I'm not gonna burn them. I just want you to know that. Thank you all for watching an Erudite adventure. Please like this video and comment down below if you have thoughts on any of these books. And yeah, stay warm.